If you're over 60 and you still masturbate regularly, your prostate and your energy levels could be paying the price or reaping huge benefits. It all depends on how you do it. Here's a truth most people won't say out loud. Your sexual health doesn't retire just because you've reached your 60s. In fact, right now, the way you handle this intimate part of your life could be influencing your testosterone levels, your prostate health, your energy, and even your mood and brain function. And yet, no one really talks about it, especially not with older men. You've probably gotten yearly physicals, talked about your heart or blood pressure with your doctor, but when was the last time someone asked, "Hey, how's your solo sex life affecting your prostate?" It might feel taboo, but avoiding this conversation can carry some real consequences. Let's talk facts. Ignoring your sexual habits, especially masturbation patterns after 60, could raise your risk of serious issues. We're talking about potential increases in prostate inflammation or even cancer risk. Reduced sexual circulation in your pelvic floor can lead to weaker, less frequent erections, making intimacy more difficult. And that's not even factoring in the emotional toll. Dips in testosterone can cause fatigue, mental fog, and even mild depression. Ever noticed a day where you just didn't feel driven, like the fire was gone? Your hormones could be part of that story. Here's the good news. Once you understand the right approach, the right frequency, technique, and lifestyle support, this part of your life can actually boost your vitality, not drain it. And it starts with knowing the truth, not the myths. Here's a question to keep you thinking. Did you know that your masturbation frequency and how you do it could either help prevent prostate cancer or increase your risk by 30%. Surprising, right? Let's dig into what science actually says, because once you hear it, you might never think about this area of your health the same way again. Let's start with the connection between frequency and prostate function. A landmark study from Harvard involving nearly 30,000 men found that those who ejaculated around 21 times per month, roughly 3 to 5 times per week, had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer in later years. For men over 60, this frequency range was particularly protective. Now, here's where it gets tricky. While moderate, regular activity seems to help the prostate flush out toxins and keep things working smoothly. Compulsive or mindless habits can do the opposite. When you're on autopilot, maybe using pornography late at night, rushing the experience, or doing it out of stress or boredom, it stops being health affirming and starts becoming a drain on your system. A gentleman named Robert, a 68-year-old retired engineer, reached out to us with his own story. He had been watching explicit content daily and masturbating almost automatically, something he admitted became a way to kill time after retirement. Over time, his energy dipped, and his prostate numbers during his annual checkup weren't great. After some changes limiting screen exposure, focusing on mindful practice, and making a few dietary shifts, his follow-up results showed improvement. More importantly, he felt more alive, clear-headed, and emotionally balanced. This brings us to the next critical point. What about testosterone and semen retention? There's a lot of talk on the internet about abstaining to boost testosterone. So, is there science behind it? Some research, including a study from China published in the Journal of Zhejiang University, showed a small spike in testosterone on the 7th day of abstaining. But here's the catch. This boost is temporary. Prolonged, complete abstinence, especially in older men, has actually been associated with negative effects. Loss of morning erections, increased anxiety, and sense of disconnectedness are common. Why? Because your body thrives on some level of sexual expression and hormone cycling. What's really important isn't the idea of hoarding testosterone, but rather supporting and balancing it through lifestyle. That includes managing the levels of both testosterone and another powerful hormone called DHT, or dihydrotestosterone. DHT is vital for libido and male vitality, but can contribute to prostate enlargement if not kept in check. Regular, moderate sexual activity can help your body maintain a healthier balance between the two. So, how do you support your hormone levels naturally? Look no further than your dinner plate. Nutrition plays a huge role in how your body recovers from sexual activity and how much drive you have in the first place. For starters, focus on zinc-rich foods. Zinc is absolutely essential for testosterone production and prostate health. Pumpkin seeds, oysters, and crab are powerhouses in this department. Next up, eat healthy fat. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, and even a bit of high-quality butter help your body produce hormones effectively. Fats are the building blocks of your sex hormone. Without them, you're operating on an empty tank. At the same time, Minimize foods that inflame your system. Refined sugars and excess alcohol can disrupt your hormones and lower your sexual stamina. Long term, the wrong diet not only decreases libido, it can worsen prostate issues. Keep it whole, keep it clean, and hydrate well. That last part matters more than you think. Blood flow is everything when it comes to erections and recovery. If your circulation suffers, so does your performance. Here's another angle most men overlook: the muscles you don't even realize you're using, specifically your pelvic floor. You've probably heard about Kegel exercises for women, but men, especially over 60, stand to gain massively from strengthening their pelvic floor. These are the muscles you use when you stop your urine flow midstream. Strengthening them helps improve blood flow to the penis, enhances orgasm control, and even reduces the risk of urinary incontinence, something few men want to talk about. A real-world example comes from Dennis, a 63-year-old father of 3. After struggling with weak erections and occasional leaks when coughing or sneezing, he started doing a simple Kegel routine, 3 sets of 10 squeezes per day, each held for 5 seconds. Within a month, he reported firmer erections and better bladder control. After 3 months, he said he was feeling 20 years younger in just one part of his body. Want to try it? It's easy. Sit or lie down. Squeeze the muscles as if trying to stop the flow of urine. Hold for 5 seconds, then release. Start with 10 reps and work your way up to 3 sessions a day. And never do these while actually urinating. That's just for identifying the muscles. Now, let's talk about something you may underestimate: sleep. You might think, what do orgasms have to do with sleep? But the answer is quite a bit. When you're in deep REM sleep, your body releases the hormones that help regulate libido, recovery, and energy, including testosterone. If your sleep is poor or your schedule is erratic, you may notice a flatter mood, less desire, and fewer spontaneous erections. Some men find masturbation before bed helps them sleep, and that can be true. But if it becomes a nightly routine that cuts into quality sleep, especially with screen time included, it may backfire. Devices like smartphones and tablets reduce melatonin production, making it harder to reach deep sleep cycles. Plus, climax directly before bed may flood your body with dopamine and prolactin, sometimes making it tougher to fall into restorative sleep if timing is off. Here's a better strategy. Try resetting your evening routine. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. If you do self-stimulate before sleeping, do it mindfully, with no screens, and give yourself a 20-30 minute gap before trying to sleep. You'll promote better hormonal rhythm and wake up feeling more rejuvenated. And here's your second rehook. Did you know a 2021 study in the Prostate Health Journal found that poor sleep alone could reduce sexual desire in older men by nearly 30%? Just adjusting your bedtime routine might improve libido more than you think. The takeaway? After 60, it's not about cutting sex from your life, it's about integrating it smarter. When you combine healthy levels of self-stimulation with the right nutrition, exercise, and recovery habits, you unlock a version of yourself that's stronger, more emotionally grounded, and more alive. So here's a simple question to reflect on. How can your solo sex life become a tool for health, not just a habit? Because once you see these changes play out in your energy, your drives, and your numbers, you won't want to go back to the old habits. And let's not forget the final piece of the puzzle: your mindset. Your thoughts about aging, sex, and masculinity deeply shape your physical health. For many men, entering their 60s feels like crossing into some invisible stage where vitality, sexuality, or even self-worth start to fade. But that belief, it's not only outdated, it's harmful. According to the Mayo Clinic, men's bodies continue to produce testosterone and respond to sexual stimuli well into their 70s and beyond. Sure, the levels drop gradually, but they don't disappear. The key is preserving your body's natural ability to stay in that mode, and a huge part of it comes down to how you see yourself. A 62-year-old named Antonio put it this way: "The biggest shift I made wasn't physical, it was mental. I had to stop seeing myself as past my prime. Once I changed that inner dialogue and started loving and respecting my body again, everything else followed." This ties directly into how mindfulness plays a role in healthy masturbation practices. Are you tuned in when you engage in solo pleasure, or are you checked out? When you slow down, breathe deeply, connect with what you're actually feeling instead of racing through the experience you're telling your brain and your body, I matter. I'm still a man. This part of my life still has value. That message activates your parasympathetic nervous system, a calming, restorative state that promotes hormone regulation, cellular repair, and deeper satisfaction. And gentlemen, here's a little science-backed rehook to blow your mind. New research from the Cleveland Clinic highlights that mindful arousal and delayed gratification practices, meaning you're not rushing to finish, can enhance dopamine sensitivity. In plain English, you feel better, longer, and you want to repeat healthy behaviors instead of compulsive ones. That's the power of presence. Now, everything we've discussed so far, nutrition, pelvic health, hormone balance, sleep, and mindset, they all work together. You're not just treating symptoms or reacting to problems after they show up. You're proactively taking charge of your sexual well-being. Think of it like this. If your body were a classic car, your sexual health routine isn't about speed or trying to relive your 20s. It's about maintenance, performance, and enjoying the ride at your pace with fewer breakdowns along the way. Some of you may be wondering, but what if I've already been doing it the wrong way for years? Is it too late to change? Absolutely not. Your body is remarkably resilient even in your 60s and 70s. The American Urological Association encourages men in their later decades to actively pursue sexual health literacy and function, noting that positive changes in habits can bring measurable improvements in hormonal balance, blood flow, and emotional satisfaction. The results? You're looking at clearer thinking, less anxiety, more stamina, and maybe even closer connections in or out of a relationship. Still skeptical? Let's bring in one last story, a man named Jalen, 71 years old, who had quietly accepted that intimacy was over for him. He hadn't been in a relationship for years and thought there was no point in continuing any kind of sexual routine. But after watching a few educational videos and learning about the prostate/hormone connection, he decided to try something new. Within 2 months of combining mindful solo play, pelvic exercises, early evening routines, and a few diet upgrades, he started waking with morning wood. By month 4, he said he felt more confident, grounded, and emotionally level than he had in over a decade. And here's the kicker, he started dating again, saying the biggest change wasn't his body, but the way he carried himself. Why is Jalen's story important? Because it proves this isn't just about sex. It's about life force, your energy, your clarity, your sense of being alive. So yes, your solo sexual routine still matters. And handled right, it can become medicine, a kind of therapy you don't even need a prescription for. So let's summarize the essentials. First, aim for healthy frequency, not too much, not too little. Harvard research says 3-5 times per week is prostate protective, but it's not one size fits all. Tune into how you feel next day, more energy or more drained. Second, prioritize mindful technique. Ditch the screens, the rushing, the mindlessness. Engage with your body the way you'd want a partner to, patiently, respectfully, and with curiosity. Third, support your hormones through whole food sync, healthy fats, clean hydration, and cut the sugar and alcohol that can throw your balance off. Fourth, move your body and train those pelvic floor muscles. Kegels are free, simple, and incredibly effective. Fifth, guard your sleep like it's gold. It's when the body heals, hormones rebalance, and desire is refreshed. And lastly, change how you think about aging. You're not drying up, you're evolving. And this next stage of life can be just as vibrant, even more satisfying, if you take the right steps. Now, if you found any part of this video eye-opening, this is your moment to act. Don't just scroll to the next video and forget what you heard. Take one thing, just one tip we shared, and apply it tonight or tomorrow. Whether that's adjusting your bedtime routine, doing 10 pelvic floor squeezes, or tossing those cookies in favor of pumpkin seeds, small changes lead to big wins. And if you're serious about mastering your health after 60, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of men who are rewriting the rules on aging. We post videos every week covering real topics that matter to your life, your vitality, and your legacy. And if you want to go even deeper, check out the next video on screen. It's all about optimizing testosterone naturally without supplements. Trust us, your future self will thank you. Stay strong, stay curious, and remember, age doesn't define your fire. You do.